Howdy everybody, welcome back. We have another inbox review today. I actually have 2 or 3 of these guys because I want to build them up different ways. Looking at it now, I think I might actually go ahead and do something like that. I like that purple with the gold. I think that actually looks really good. But I also like that too, the black. And if I go with that, if I do this, I'm gonna keep those wheels. I like the tires in this kit, not for this build, but I remember when this came out. I don't remember. Yeah, I remember when this came out a long time ago. Had so I love that gray grill with the black. It would also have been a red. Sorry, and back actually. So when this first came out, it was a black. It had these exhaust pipes were red, and it was a Hotrod Magazine pickup. It had the photo of the truck, of a real truck, just like it. These were actually flared on the real truck. Had a real truck on it. It was flat black, and it had the blue trim on it, and it had the Hot Rod logo there. I believe it's a white Hot Rod logo in the red. You know, kind of just like the magazine at the time. It had that little red background. It had the white Hot Rod logo, but it was they had a bunch of vehicles like that, and I loved that truck. I had always wanted them to re-release it, and now they have. So I buy a lot of kits at Hobby Lobby. Apparently, I'm no longer, capable of speaking today for this week. I'm doing a lot of these videos today, and I've been doing this every single friggin' one. But anyway, I got a few ideas for different ones. One of these is probably going to end up with a 3D printed chassis. Let me see. I have the back end of part of one. Well, anyway, I might actually buy another chassis for it too, because I don't know if I want to use that one. But one of these I might do with this chassis just to have a nice shelf model. But let's go ahead and get on with the inbox review. Again, I do a lot of these from Hobby Lobby, but I never pay full price. I only buy kits from Hobby Lobby at their 40% off. So let's go ahead and get cracking, shall we? All right, where in the hell did my... There we go. Right here. Let's get cracking. All right, let's go ahead. Got the skeezers here. All right, check out the chrome tree. This grill has been used on other kits. Most of this actually is... so these wheels are new to this kit. You can actually see here, where that's actually a section of a different mold. But I don't know if these were just for this release of the kit. Let me see how nice they are here. Hard to tell. I can tell though that these lug nuts are hexagonal. They are hexagonal, so these might have been made for this kit. I've seen these wheels on that Chevy sedan, which I think that was an AMT kit. I could be wrong. Sedan delivery, that root beer one. I don't know if it's the same wheels or not. I don't even know if it's also made by Revell or not, but it's the same wheel, lease wheel style, so I don't know if it's the same or not. Standard Revell fin, small block Chevy, valve covers. What the heck is that? I do not know, nor do I know what this is. That's the shifter. Still don't know what the hell that is. These are for the bed and the steps. Never liked them like that. That is like a quick changer in. I'll talk about a few things. Not okay. Those are the tail lights. Don't really like that. I loved that back in the day. I thought it was cool, but it is a quick changer, and it's not like a quick change that I've ever seen before. I've never seen them that tall, like on the. But you know, whatever. It's all good. It ain't no thing. This is not a Chevy pickup frame, I don't believe, for this. It might be, it might not be. Here, let me actually put this back. Because I'm going to end up putting this stuff in the box top backwards so I can put it all back in the box correctly. We are going to go like this. This here, they did not have, except on the four-wheel drive, which this would be easy to convert to four-wheel drive, which is a transfer case and a front axle. These here, that is not. These trucks in real life, two-wheel drive, had independent front suspension. This has a dual leaf springs and like a semi-truck style solid axle in the front. I call it a gasser style. I think people have yelled at me about it. It's not gasser style. That's just how it was done back then. No, actually, around 77, it might have been done like that by some people, real low-end budget builds, but they had other, you know, I mean, they were using cutting coils, using lowering springs, drop spindles and stuff. They were not converting over, I mean, not generally converting over the leaf springs and dropping it down. So, you know, earlier than this, yes, I'd like to say there's never been, you know, a square body Chevy that's been lowered like that, but I actually believe I have seen some in real life. Again, they're either just like SEMA style builds, they're just for show. They're just show trucks only. You know, they might drive around a little bit, you know, more low budget ones, but I digress. It is what it is. Definitely, I know that's how it was done previous to this. They'd you know, have leaf springs and they'd have a drop axle. I'll probably do at least one like that, but I am likely going to be using, probably going to get a few more of these. I think I have 2 or 3 right now. I want to do one, you know, just like this, and actually do it like the old one with the black and the red. I want to do one with, you know, the purple and the gold, using those wheels. I want to do another total street rotted out with, you know, some 3D printed wheels of my own design, 3D printed chassis from MCS Designs. I will do the printing, but I will buy the files, or I have one already. But I might go with they have another one, and you know, I haven't been able to find justification for it, but maybe this might be it. The one I've got, I don't really like the way it's done. It's not really good for trucks. It's better for cars. But anyway, that's the chassis. It looks really friggin' wide to me. I don't think this is prototypical either. The floor pan is not really prototypical for a square body either. We have ejector pin marks literally everywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 30 ejector pin marks. For crying out loud. Oh, anyway, the good news is they're actually all in spots that are actually really easy to get to and clean up. So, I mean, you can't even bitch about these because there's not real. I mean, the only texture is just something to make it flat instead of shiny. So, even that, you can't even bitch about that. These will come right off. Yeah, a little tedious, but that's kind of what modeling's about, right? So, no big deal. That has a lot of ejector pin marks. But considering the age of the kit, yeah, a little kind of flashy here, but again, that's old style molds and everything, and they kind of, wear out around the edges. These molds were abused a lot, so it's really not that big a deal. Let's go ahead and I'm going to leave the cab in here. This is unfortunately kind of a Revell has done this, so has AMT, with a separate rear wall. I don't like that. It's harder than hell to get it to line up. If I remember correctly, this was not as bad as some others, but by the same token, I was a kid and I didn't, never filled seams or anything like that. It was just glue it. I mean, hell, I would glue the whole thing together, mask off the windows, and just hit it with some spray paint. That's what I did, So it's really no big deal. I mean, I think this actually fit better though. A little bit of putty, no big deal. Smooth it out, paint it. The cab is done really nice. I also do have 3D print versions of it. In fact, I'm going to be doing a 3D print 4x4 version. I may do one of these and actually do it in the 4x. I might. I don't know. So I'm not going to. The cab does look really nice. The details are a little soft. The door seams are a little shallow. But other than that, I mean, the molding, it looks great. I mean, I spent the money on the 3D file, and the detail is crisper, but the shape is not as accurate as this. And if you are wondering, this is the Scottsdale. I would love to have a stock chassis and actually do this up as a bone stock truck. Maybe kind of do that, that yellowy, that like harvest gold yellow, or yellow and gold, yellow and white color scheme they had going on. Here is the step side bed. I also wish they'd do a bone stock one with the Scottsdale, have a fleet side bed too, because then I could actually replicate the truck my son is supposed to have that he got from his grandpa on his mother's side. There is some nice wood grain texture here. I don't know that I would call it very accurate, but it would pass. And this is all done in a way that is easily paintable. Easily. You can easily, paint that wood grain in there, 3-color and all that. Mask it off, paint these, or, put chrome foil on them. It's going to look great. Sorry, I've been putting that back there. Right here is the wood grain texture. There's the bed ribs. Underneath, it's got, bed ribs that are, reasonably accurate. It's got that right there. Thank you, Revell, for putting that right there. Yeah, this is 1986, the license plate back to it. Revell and monogram. But thank you for putting that right there. That is really easy to remove if we want to. Honestly, I'll probably leave it. These I do know fit okay. These fit okay. But it's a fairly simple bed. This is the front. The tailgate is elsewhere. Let's put these off to the side. What the hell? Oh, there we go. We'll get the decals that I shoot. Those are awesome. So it has. We've got some glass here. So interestingly, we have tinted glass, we have non-tinted glass. Interestingly, they are way different size. So I think they put glass for 2 different kits in here. This was, I expect to see this type of thing from AMT, they do this kind of stuff a lot, but not from Revell. This is a first from Revell for me. So let's see what they did here. Let's check. Let's check the size. Come on, damn it. There we go. It's not going to fit that well, this one. It doesn't look like it. Let's look at this. Oh no, this is definitely the wrong glass for this kit. This, you know what? I'm going to have to open my other boxes and find out. I think they put this in here, and I think this is for the deserter. So definitely not. This is for the deserter / fall guy truck. It is not for this kit. I think they're supposed to put in. I really don't like the fact that this is. I like that and the back being tinted. I do not like, and these are okay too. I do not like the windshield being tinted. That doesn't seem right. I will have to check my other one, and then maybe you know, if the other one actually has. This is comical. If anybody from Revell is watching, why? It's not even for this. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to complain too much because I have the deserter kit that's been, like, destroyed. The glass has been destroyed. So, you know, it's not that big a deal. Let me check one thing here real quick. Huh. Oh, well, that's saying they just left my family, but whatever. No biggie. They're actually, or that they're here, but they're not. Where are they at? Are they at? Oh, whatever. They're getting their boots replaced. Anyway, back to this. So, the interior tub, that obviously that's going to look like crap from underneath, and it's not accurate. But it is what it is. It's not that big a deal. I mean, you can just, I mean, the chassis got some stuff molded into it, so it's you're not really going to see that anyway. Which that's fine. It would be, you know, kind of nice, but it's no big deal. So I'm kind of curious. It does at least have your gas pedal, brake pedal, and clutch. You know, so that's fine. I still want to know why. But I'm happy to see this because I've got, you know, a deserter truck that the glass got destroyed. So I know I didn't call Revell and be like, hey, can I get some new glass? This just happened to be in this kit. I have no clue why. I think they were trying to put in 2 of these and somebody wasn't paying any attention. You know, I mean, when you get paid, you know, 10 cents an hour over in China, that's what it is. So, I don't remember that would be so. This type of header isn't that bad. I've seen that. Never seen anybody do right angle like that. Ever. And does something like that. Never once in my life have I ever seen anything like that. So, there's that. The drive shaft, a little soft on details. But, I mean, look at everything. Look at the air of the kit. What I don't remember though is I swear this engine was not the one that was in the original kit. manual transmission on there, but I can tell you that is the right steering wheel. That's what it's supposed, the real one's supposed to look like. We're pretty close to it. That's right where the oil filter is supposed to be. I don't like that it's molded in. Don't like that. I can tell you this, I'm not going to use this engine. I don't like the way this is done. You know, the intake and heads like that. That is not right. I mean, the only thing you can say is right is the carburetor's in the middle. That's the right shape for the thermostat housing. And that's where the distributor's in the back. It should actually be centered. I've got a small block outside I could take you and go show you. That looks like that's supposed to be the fuel pump, and they put it there because they put an engine mount there. The fuel pump is supposed to be here. The engine mount should be right here. You know, there is no way in hell a mechanical fuel pump is going to magically go there. This is bad. No. The starter is at least reasonably accurately shaped, but no. In fact, so far, no. No. Not only no, but hell no. Never going to use that crap. That is so bad. Whoever did that should be friggin' ashamed. Radiator, not bad actually. I like the radiator. I really do. There's some sink marks right here. But look at the ejector pin marks right there. And they're tiny. Usually they're big and right there, but no. They're on the edges and they're not, and they're small. Some people might claim the tank sides are a little softened, but no. Go look at back then the full-size radiators, and they were actually kind of like that. If their city complaint is these are, but you're never going to find that to scale there. That probably not either. No, actually, no, it's kind of rounded like that. So, but again, it's a kit, and it's plastic, and it's from way back then. So, I mean, overall, I mean, I can't. I mean, supposed to. I'm not trying to find stuff to complain about or praise it about. It just is what it is. Let's go ahead and pull this thing out. That's the dashboard. That is a square body dashboard. That is 100% a square body dashboard. What you'll notice, that is a CB radio, and it is probably, judging by, I do a lot of CB radio stuff. I work on them too. That is either an old Uniden or Realistic. I can't remember who had that. I think it's a Realistic, so Radio Shack had that thing there. The switches there and the dial there. But if I'm right, this is a 23-channel Radio Shack CB radio. Not really appropriate for a more modern custom truck, or not even 80s, 70s. Yes, yeah, some 80s. I will probably be cutting that off and filling that in, but I will not be getting rid of it. I will cut that off, and I will glue that to a piece of plastic, and I will use that in a period truck of some kind. These, they might be legible, but I don't think so. I think they're just number shaped blobs. I mean, the relief isn't good enough for you to, pick it out anyway. The detail on here is kind of rudimentary, but it's not bad for the era. But that is a square body dashboard, period, and it looks good. Take that off. So here, interestingly enough, we have another intake and heads. No better than the other one. The exhaust. This you could get by with on a rail truck, but not with that 90-degree thing up front. These actually look okay. They need a lot of cleanup. Be hard. It's going to be really difficult to get them to clean up. I still want to do one of these with this exhaust and there's flat black and red. Corvette style intake to go on here. Just horrible still. You're better off not. Just glue the hood shut. Or snake an engine out of another kit. Don't use that at all, please. It is that bad. I like the front bumper pan. It's almost roll pan. It's got the louvers in it. Kind of wish they were molded open, but you know what? Look at the age of the kit. They weren't going to do that back then, and that's okay. I don't really blame them. Here's the tailgate. It's kind of simple. You can easily put the Chevrolet logo on there, or you know what? Actually, let's move on to the next piece. Let's see. What do we got? No, the Chevrolet logo is not in here, but dude, look at these friggin' decals. These are friggin' cool. Come on, how 80s can you, not just it, 80s, 90s, how cool can you get? Oh, now this is awesome. Hold on. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see this crap. This is cool. Yes, I'm getting kind of excited for this. So, yeah, I love this old 80s stuff here, late 80s. Look at that. That kind of late 80s, early 90s. That kind of reminds you of those old, the girls' bags and stuff, like what do they call those? Spirit. Kind of has that thing, max headroom type of deal. The gauges are flipping cool. They have black and orange. And look at that. They even have them for the other. And these look like they are legible or damn near legible. You're not gonna know the difference. When it's in there, you're not gonna see them anyway, but you'll be able to see that this is enough there. It's gonna trick your mind into thinking they're legible. The only thing that you can see the lines, everything is down low. So 0 RPM, 0 speed, whatever the hell that is, 0. The gas tank is like just under a quarter tank. These are not 0, so I don't know why that is. Because these would be, at least your RPMs would be not 0 if the truck were running, and these should all be not displaying anything if the truck was not running, but it's not that big a deal. That's just a nitpick. Tune port injection. Let's say Chevrolet. The only thing that's missing is a red heartbeat. So California, I won't be using those plates in metal. But my wife is from Michigan. She is a Chevy girl. And her dad worked for General Motors growing up. So these will get used. These Scottsdale decals. Beautiful. These will get used. These. I don't know if anything else will. I mean, the decals are going to get used. I just don't know if they'll get used on this. So, that's that. That's those instructions. Let's see if the instructions have improved, shall we? Put that down here. So, not that my memory is going to necessarily. Wow. God. That engine is, if you'll pardon my language, that engine is really shitty. God, I hope it doesn't look that bad. But even that is crap. That is complete and utter. No. Bad. Piece of shit. Don't use that. I'm not up for swearing that much, but piece of shit, don't use that. Do not use that engine. Glue the hood shut. Never seen him. I've seen flow kind of like that. A little sharp angle. I don't know. I prefer to have those drilled out. I don't know what I'm going to do. Part of me wants to use them just because. And the reality is, if I do end up doing the black and red, like the old Hot Rod one, I will also do the grill in red because even though that wasn't there, on I don't remember that being red on the original box art. It might have been. I think it'll just look cool. I gotta look for the old box art, see what kind of wheels that were on that truck, because I will use that kind of wheel. Now, I will also, on that old truck, I do have a Corvette engine that is proper, that I'll end up dropping in it. For other hot rodded versions, I have various engines that I can use. I thought I had one sitting right here that I can grab. That's partially done, but I don't. I have Tremec, a couple of Tremec transmissions. I've got a Lenco, which I'd have to, fab up a different tranny tunnel and put some different levers in there. But that's pretty cool. Overall, the instructions actually look decent. I didn't tell you, all the detail under the hood is molded in. It shouldn't be too hard to pick out with, paintbrush. That is actually cool. That is not stock. That kind of radiator cover there with the louvers. I like that. That just looks stupid. The wheels are very nicely done. It's not a bad kit. I mean, it might seem like I'm bashing on the kit. I'm not. If I have an actual complaint, my complaint is that travesty they call an engine. The rest of it is really not that big a deal. I'm sure there's people who built exhausts out there like that. It's just not something you see very often. And I know people have done that sort of thing with the front suspension, a lot for show trucks and low budget builds, which, I'm no stranger to budget builds. But overall, right now, can I recommend the kit? To an experienced builder, absolutely, 100%. To a novice builder, that's a tougher call. Is it going to fit together well? Yes. But there's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done. And that engine it does not look like a real engine. And that exhaust is going to be difficult to deal with because of all the cleanup required. And there's a lot of other flash and other stuff that's going to have to be cleaned up, but it does fit together well. I know that from experience. I was younger and I really didn't have any issues with it fitting together. So, kind of yes, kind of no. If you can get by with the exhaust, all the cleanup in the kit, which you're going to have to learn how to do anyway as a builder. The exhaust is hard to clean up, but if you can deal with that and the fact that it doesn't even look like, an engine. I've seen, engines and toys from the Dollar Tree look more realistic and look more like a small block Chevy than that travesty. But if you're going to glue the hood shut or you can deal with that engine, then yes, I can recommend it to a novice because the kit does go together well. It does fit reasonably well. A little bit of work here and there to do so, but it's not bad. So yes, I can't, with those caveats, I can recommend it to even the novice builder. My only real gripe is just that engine. That's it. That engine is a travesty. It's a piece of crap. It's worthless. It's junk. Either find a different engine or glue the hood closed. That's my official. Buy the kit, put it together, build it, put a different engine in it, or glue the hood closed and build it. Make something that looks freaking cool. Because you can make one hell of a cool truck with this. You really can. So let's go ahead and throw this all back in there. Bippity-doo. As opposed to beep-beep-doo. Again, it's actually despite its age, it is a decent kit. I'm not gonna handle that. I know I have to be smarter than the box, right? Yeah, I know. Hey, you said it, not me. It's all good. I don't care. we can pick on Mike Day. It's no big deal. I'm good with that. I want to leave those in there. Yeah, just to keep them safe. Because the deserter is in storage. There we go. Let's go ahead and put that in there. Yeah, there's some things that just kind of, as a car guy that are kind of, odd for prototypically correct. But that's, you know what, odd stuff happens all the time. I mean, love you, Richard, but, look at what Gas Monkey Garage does. They build some goofy grabs sometimes, so, some of their solutions are like, what were you thinking? But, love you, Richard. The oddball stuff. The only thing I like the kit. I do recommend it. Source a different engine. I know I've said this already. Source a different engine or glue the hood closed. But aside from that, cool kit. Build it. It's not going to be a showstopper unless you put a lot of work into it. But you know what? You can do it. People have done it. It's been a show winner before. It's going to be a great shelf model, and it's going to give you some practice if you're kind of a novice or intermediate. It is going to give you practice that you're going to need, cleaning up some of those other parts. But slapping it together, gluing the hood closed, and such, you're going to come up with a nice looking shelf model. The only thing that might not come out great is that exhaust, but you're going to get practice cleaning it up, and that's fine. That's actually, I'm very experienced. I've been told I'm great. I don't know, but I do know I'm a very experienced builder, and that exhaust would give me fits. That doesn't mean that it's bad. It's not. I would drill it out, but that kind of tediousness is but I would drill it out and stuff. But cleaning it up is the hard part. It's I will probably end up just, making a replacement to fit a different, to fit a one of Black Box's 572s, and I will 3D print one or something. I don't know yet. Or I'll just go a different exhaust, or I might just clean those up and use them. I'll probably do that at least on the Hotrod truck. Try to replicate the old Hotrod Magazine truck from the old box art. Just, I might do that, I might not. So, anyway, yeah, I do recommend it, except for, once again, that travesty of an engine. Please go ahead, like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the flip side.